Hey everybody, storm just came through. I have an uncle. He's almost 80, in great shape, still works, refuses to retire, and he is the only member of my extended family, which is pretty big, that I was able to convince to not get this experimental thing that's going on right now. And as I convinced him, it was a somewhat slow process. He wasn't sure, and then he read a few things I sent him, and it tipped him over, and now he sends me things. He's as anti-thing as anyone. And he recently stumbled into the whole smallpox rabbit hole and understands that this whole thing has been somewhat of a eugenics program since it was invented, late 1700s, and that this anti-thing movement has been going on since the 1800s. That people, prominent people, at one time, and most people, thought it was an effort to poison people, an effort to poison the blood, which it was. And it's just, it's very... I lost a lot of, by lose, I mean, no one really listened to me. They thought I was crazy, and they went ahead and got this thing. Some people are having some problems, but at least one I was able to hold on to. I was able to help to convince anyways. And there's a feeling of accomplishment in that, and relief, and hope too, and hope. There's a degree of hope with that. It is important that we remember that it's the small victories like that, very, very small victories. If you can get someone to question, even briefly, perhaps you've planted a seed. If you can get someone to turn momentarily, even if it's just one person, it sounds so cliche, but it really is true. That's kind of my anchor right now. I feel like I've been able to help a little bit. Now, however, in sharing a lot of the stuff that he's shared, I think that he's begun possibly to, because he has children, they're grown now, and he has grandchildren as well. And I think that he's probably beginning to think back on some of the choices he made through a lack of awareness that we all had. You know, he had kids in the late 70s, early 80s. And I haven't spoken with him. We just send messages for the last few days. I need to speak with him. But what I want to reassure him is that it's possible to clear. Humans are stronger. We're much stronger than people understand. And it's possible to clear this stuff out. Very possible. It's possible to float above it, to walk as if it doesn't touch you. It's possible also, I think that this runs in my family. I see it in some members of the family, that the immune system seem to be incredibly strong. My uncle rarely gets sick. Some mild allergies, and that's about it. Mother is the same. I am the same. And perhaps it has something to do with the cellular clean-out system. It's fairly efficient. I mean, at least I hope that's it. Just try to reassure him that he didn't do anything bad of his own will, of his own accord, and to not carry guilt for that, to not carry any guilt. When you change, when you realize something, when you see through something, the tendency, of course, after the shock and after the despair of the truth, because that truth can bring despair, is to have regrets for having not seen it sooner, or having not taken action sooner, or to carry some guilt because you made mistakes because of that lack of sight. And that's, I guess it's natural, but it's counterproductive. You got to let that go. You got to let it go. We are strong. We are very strong. And ultimately, it is of no matter.